Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is a scene for the Changling and Werewolf venue. Good afternoon, everybody. Good morning, good evening. So Valarius is currently doing what he does best. He is currently on break. His new job working as a gym teacher slash foreign language instructor at a new high school, St. Joseph's, where he's working and just basically with children and kind of helping them out and just doing the whole teacher I can teach you things kind of deal. Valerius is on lunch and he is wandering about the city. Probably picked up a few churros on the street, munching on them, and he's probably going to wander into his favorite little diner, his favorite little spot where he likes to think and just kind of muse about life in general. Just kind of watching the sky and just kind of chatting up, the regular people that greet him, the same barista that gets him his same coffee, knows his name, asks about his wife, and just regular things as he just kind of sits there and reads and just starts making, small jokes, asking about a boyfriend, how far they've gotten, has he popped the question yet? Just kind of making general casual conversation as he just sits and waits and contemplates life. It's his lunch break after all, so what the hell? Why not?
Sitting on a bench not too far away, a rather stoic looking individual sits eating out of a styrofoam platter. What some might consider to be shawarma, currently resting in one hand, wrapped in tinfoil partially. And she sits just staring off into the nothingness, contemplating, remembering events of the past few days that have left her troubled.
Uh,
Still shaking off the effects of nightly sedation.
as Valerius is talking to um, the barrister is going to kind of point at this seemingly or normal looking girl that looks rather depressed, and he is going to get handed a coffee, and she's kind of going to tease him and tell him to be nice and see if she's okay. She's kind of concerned. Valerius will, after not too much prodding, will go over with two coffees in his hand. uh are you okay?
Kelly's eyes blink once and just turn up in her head. She doesn't even lift her chin to look up at him. But she does recognize him, and as she looks at the cup of coffee, she raises a brow. I don't remember your name, but I do know you.
uh, it's okay, no offense taken. You can call me Valerius. I mean, it's my name. Coffee?
Don't take this the wrong way, but
Mm-hmm.
if I take that coffee, am I going to start tripping balls, as it were?
um no, this is just a good will measure. I'm not trying to mess with you.
She'll tentatively put out her hand.
Nothing happens.
Satisfied, she takes a sip of the coffee and then sets it down next to her can of, well, pretty much empty can of Coca-Cola.
Well, why are you out here like moping? What happened?
It's kind of direct to ask, don't you think?
Well, I'm a direct sort of guy, so there's no obfuscation. You
Fair
might
enough.
misinterpret it, so it's best to be direct.
Looks like you've had experience dealing with us before.
Uh, yeah. It's just women in general. I just find the more direct you are, the more direct answers you get. Like, I'm not one from emotional manipulation. Insert kindness quarters, receive vagina. As he starts laughing.
She's gonna shake her head slightly.
But no, that's not why I'm here. I'm not trying to score or anything like that. I was generally concerned.
I saw some shit a couple days back, and it makes me hopeless, angry, sad, and just a whole mix of other emotions all at the same time.
Hmm. As Valerius starts sipping his coffee, go on. If it's like family stuff, just leave out the important bits. But what's bothering you?
Generally, how fucked up our enemy could be.
Did you see something that you wasn't supposed to see?
I don't even know. Maybe they let us get that far to be able to see what we saw.
Hmm. So you saw this thing. Did you? I assume you won. I mean, you're here.
Yeah, nobody died on our part, but as we often learn or are reminded, there are a lot of things out there worse than death.
You know, I've had my encounters with many of things, and I have fought in many a war. Um, I've killed many a people, many a person. And as he kind of smirks and looks at passerbys, and it's really easy to lose yourself in that. But what you're feeling right now, I don't think is unique.
Forgive me if I don't draw the parallel between what you've had to deal with and what I've had to deal with.
Um, Probably because I'm being vague because I don't want anyone to misinterpret it since we are out in public. You want to walk and talk?
I'd really rather not uh, draw the ire of a certain warden.
I know you're warden. We're okay. We're just not. I'm not messing with you in that way. Since I assume you know what one of the effects of my people can do.
Yeah, that. That's a really fucked up thing you all do, by the way.
Um, to be fair, um, there's different ways of going about doing it, but some are very crass about it. But not all of us hold the same beliefs about it. So I wouldn't paint us all with the same brush.
Well, I do hope that that filters down because I've let it happen to me once. I've let someone do it to me.
Hmm.
If somebody did it to me without my permission, well, you know what our people are capable of.
Well, I hope that as myself cannot be in every place at the same time. Some lessons have to be learned the hard way.
Well, hopefully that person doesn't become just a statistical example. Hopefully they'll be able to walk away from it, but sometimes our people aren't exactly known for our restraint.
I've given my warnings and missives to folks. If they want to be careless, then that's on them.
Good to know, I guess. Though I think some of them are going to do what they're going to do regardless. Some of
At
them,
that at that point, it's a question of personal agency.
yeah.
As long as they're not directly endangering our people. But if one isolated incident is, how should I say, handled without bringing harm to any of the respective parties, then so be it.
Well, we'll see. There are some of your people that I've seen that I wouldn't trust at
Well,
all.
well, trust is a thing that has to be earned, of course. I think a lot assume that I have somewhat of a working relationship with most of your kind, that they also have the same relationship. This would be sad fiction.
Yeah, um, that that is not a safe assumption for your people.
It isn't. As I said, sad fiction. But tell me, like, it has to be more than that for you to be this depressed. You're usually quite cheerful, from what I've seen.
Well, cheerful enough when I'm not having to dodge advances, but
Well, you're not a mud fence. If that's any compliment. But I'm pretty sure it's more than that.
maybe? She shrugs a bit. Imagine seeing something against everything that you were raised to stand for.
Hmm.
Imagine somebody's choice in the matters of procreation were stripped from them, and they're used like cattle, used as breeding stock. And imagine that they've been dealt with that way for so long that they just look broken and lost. And put that on the drop back of our enemy,
Hmm.
and the fact that individuals that suffered this are part of your extended family in a manner of speaking, part of your nation, part of your people.
I've been in situations where people that I trusted betrayed that trust and often did regrettable things. And I'm sure that this is probably a far cry from what you've seen and experienced, but I know that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Maybe this is something that's going to steel you for the battles to come, with a strong resolve.
The only thing I want to do is I want to find someone, anyone, any one of their agents. I don't even care if they aren't directly connected to them, but somehow fallen from their piety, so to speak.
Hmm.
Doesn't matter what they are, who they are. I want to hold them against the ground, and I want to inflict pain on them. And her hand starts to tighten around the coffee cup. I want them to beg me to stop, and then beg me to just let them die. I want them to understand everything they've made people suffer through, and I want every one of them to experience it for themselves. And then I want to deny them release from it. And as she does this, finally the paper cup just is like, nope, and crumbles in her hand, and the hot liquid inside pours out, turning her skull or her skin red, but she barely even notices.
As he kind of like leans in a little closer, we're in public. As he kind of hands her a napkin.
You can see that like her jaw is grinding back and forth, and that her eyes are very focused.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe a few people that were closer
Mm-hmm.
than normal before, maybe those that could dare a bit closer,
Mm-hmm.
have suddenly backed away very quickly.
Fair enough. Valarius is gonna hand her a napkin, and it looks a little hot, my dear.
She'll look down at her hand in actual surprise. Ow! She drops the cup and just like starts seething, and that expression of that delayed reaction finally washes over her. Ha 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 ha!
uh,
Takes the napkin. Thank you. And places it over it.
well, it's a good thing that you're definitely feeling the emotion. That's the first step to recovery, I think.
Feels like it's counterproductive.
Counterproductive is letting the emotions sit inside of you, allowing your brain to kind of wrestle with it. But you're like talking about it. You're allowing yourself to feel it, which is good. But now the question is, what do you do with it?
That's the thing is, I don't know. I honestly don't know. My
Well,
dad is sedating me at night just so I can sleep, which turns out is much easier said than done, apparently.
Valerius will look and um would you like me to get you some ice for your hand?
She looks down at it. No, it'll take care of itself in a few minutes.
All right. There's something that might help, and I'm willing to help if I can. This is nothing that will require you to feel anything that you don't want to, and it won't push anything on you.
Explain a little bit about it first.
Usually, sometimes people talk, when my kind talks to individuals that we have something of a connection to, something that we believe is ideal and real, we can help others who are feeling at a loss, who are feeling empty, who need that extra push in a direction. These Sometimes we can influence these emotions in a good way. Not all of it has to be very primal, since it seems that you've only seen one side of our people, but we are capable of a lot. And a lot of that is used to show a lot of good, a lot of hope.
You're gonna have to forgive me if I'm hesitant. And she says that to imply that she's really trying to put that nicely.
Hmm.
But I've heard stories of what your people do.
What I'm
Someone I
saying,
know has suffered the power of your people before. I believe you probably know him.
mhm, I give you my word as a general that this won't be something that will be on that level. And like I said, I can't do that to you. I don't know how to do that. Yet, at least.
I'm gonna need time to think about that.
That's okay. But, if you ever want to talk, um, get to know me and help you deal with it, I'm here to talk.
Why do you want to help me? I mean, I've heard that tensions between our two peoples is at an all-time high right now in the city.
I don't believe in painting everyone with the same brush. And I think that this might be a positive step in the right direction if I can help you without harming you in some inconceivable way.
You know, my people don't exactly. They'll paint you all with the same brush. Most of them do.
That's all right. But I mean, people are free to have their opinions, but if I can change the mind of one person, I'm okay with that.
Call me cynical, but somehow I feel that this isn't just benefiting me. You get something out of it, don't you?
Well, I usually am something that you won't miss. We thrive off of creativity. When you guys are feeling emotions, strong ones at that.
Hmm.
There's other ways of there's other ways of getting this nutrient, I'll call it. But this is just one way of doing it, which is beneficial to both parties.
That sounds really leechy.
Not leechy. A leech would only it would be one way benefiting you, one way benefiting the other person. But believe me, you'll get the benefit as well.
Hmm.
We inspire people. That's our purpose, to inspire.
You know, where I come from, there's a tale of individuals like that. As I remember, they almost led Odysseus to his death.
Well,
But I'll consider it. Don't really have anything to lose at this point.
it would also allow you to have hope in something that you hold dear. It's quite obvious that you love your family and your extended family.
More than you know.
I see it in your conviction. It wouldn't be bothering you so if you didn't care.
I'd have to get the trustee first.
I'm okay with that. This doesn't have to be a one-time thing. And like I said, I'm not trying to push anything on you. I'm not looking to fuck you or anything like that. This is just me being friendly. They are
I would
capable
hope.
of
I
being
would
friendly.
certainly hope not. Aren't you married?
I'm married with children on the way.
She does crack a small smile.
Two boys.
Wow.
My wife, we were kind of hoping for a boy and a girl, but hey.
Well, everything I've heard of your kind, I think she still will get to dress them up.
Yeah, of course. But something tells me that she's not the kind to do dress up and frills. She's very much a tomboy, is what I like about her. She speaks her mind. She's not about the Mickey Mouse bullshit.
She chuckles actually at that point, loosening up just a bit.
Because I always think that if a guy is willing to like approach another female, you have to go into that not wanting anything because girls pick up on that like bloodhounds. It's not a good thing. Makes you seem
Gee, you
desperate.
think you could tell that to your friend, whatever his name is?
Well, I don't know. I could say something. It doesn't mean you listen. Like,
Like, he doesn't seem like a bad person, but he is certainly barking up the wrong tree with our people.
I believe that sometimes when you do things like that, you have to be willing to accept the consequences of that. Everything
Well,
you do has a consequence, whether it be good or bad.
well, see, that's the problem, though. You know what consequences, or you seem to at least know what consequences can be like with us, even if we don't necessarily intend something to go the way it does.
Right.
So I worry about your compatriot. But
Um, I'll spread some information in his direction if you want.
you don't
But
have to be
like I
specific. It's just,
but sometimes I believe the best lessons are learned with experience.
well, if I send him back to you with a broken jaw, are you going to be upset at me?
A broken Joe would be the least of his problems.
Fair enough. Hopefully he's not that stupid.
I mean, there's always, the normal way. Getting to know some person before you try to put your penis in them, but hey, that's me.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to prescribe to that school of thought. But
But I'm an old fart, come from the old school. So like,
fair enough. I'll tell you what, I could definitely be a little bit more open minded if I got to know you and possibly your family. For my particular subsect of our people, that sort of stuff means a lot to us. That's why I kind of, in retrospect, was kind of creepy to your significant other the other evening.
I mean, I'm an oddity in that way. I am odd in that way. Most people in my family, um, my compatriot, most act like him, but I choose not to.
What is it with your people and the whole hedonism?
Some are. You ever notice when you keep taking a drug hoping that it will replace the thing that you're feeling? For example, if you keep taking, say, Benadryl for an itch,
Hmm.
you keep taking the Benadryl even though you don't have an itch, it's kind of what they're doing,
So you're saying your people have an itch they can't scratch?
essentially.
Does it ever, not to sound crass, but does it ever, do they ever get literal itches from their behavior? If you catch my meaning.
Those that are careless and don't think, yes.
Fair enough.
But that's not to say I haven't done reckless things. But I have a lot more tact than my compatriots.
That much I can tell. She'll take out a bit of paper and write down her number on it and hand it over to Valarius.
Valer,
Maybe a dinner or something like that at my place or yours. If
should
you
I,
wanted to, you could meet my dad.
okay. Should I bring my wife?
Yeah, that would be nice, actually.
All right, Valerius is I kind of have to ask if it's okay if I take your number. I don't want her to feel some kind of way.
Wait,
As
what?
I don't want my wife to feel some kind of way. She can get jealous sometimes.
Well, that's why I said bring her along.
Yeah, I know. It's just that I just like to be on the up and up as he kind of looks at her and smiles. It's that general kind of smile, like you know how you can tell two people are definitely in love. He kind of has that like 6-year-old goofball smile, and
That
he
does actually cause her to give him a warm smile in return, even though there's still the sad expression behind her eyes.
mhm.
Well, Val, I'll hope to hear from you soon.
Yeah, definitely.
And
Want
she'll
me to
sort
another
of
call?
take. No, no, it's the middle of the day.
All right.
She'll take one last bite out of her bit of shawarma and then toss it into a bin nearby. Stand up and just offer out her hand.
Valerius will reach over and he was just like maybe a hug and then I can go.
We'll work up to that. For now, handshake. How about?
Offers out his hand, gives her a firm handshake.
Callie, by the way, I don't know if we'd been properly introduced yet.
Kallie, what?
Callie Krykos.
Gotcha. As he kind of shakes her hand, Valerius. Senna.
She'll just give him a nod and then finally turn about and go about her day. A few people quickly giving her wide room on the sidewalk as she walks
Mhm.
uh, south towards downtown.
Valerius will make his way back towards the school. He has to finish teaching for the rest of the day. Getting another cheer on the way back to school. And we can end our scene there. Thank you guys for watching. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.